Hello and welcome to another weekend Punters Guide, and what a week we have seen as well on the names my at you. We're going to look at Newbury shortly, but Jason Weaver, as always, has joined us to look at the weekend action. But first, Jason, we have to reflect on some more classic clues, and probably the most important ones so far, starting with a very impressive Dante winner, Desert Crown, looking to be the fifth this century to go on and win the Derby.
Yeah, he comes from a fantastic nursery ground. It's interesting that Sir Michael kept on talking about his mind. That's what he's got, a kind nature and a beautiful mind. I mean, he was so relaxed in the prelims. He cantered down to post. He was able to switch him off wherever he wanted in the race. They haven't gone overly quick because they all quickened up in a line. And then it was about who had that real class. Now, York is a difficult place to run away from good horses, and he did just that. He was far, far superior. I like the fact that Richard Kingscote gave him a tap around the tail, both left-handed and right-handed, to learn about it, and he was still a little bit babyish, so a massive step forward. I quite can understand why he's red hot at the top of the Derby betting.
Yeah, it certainly is. And red hot is the right word. Yeah, great to see Richard Kingscote as well, with a live chance of a classic success. And with the fillies, have we seen an Oaks win as well in the Musidora? Emily Upjohn making it 3 from 3 in a similar style. She just, the further she went, the better she looked.
Yeah, when you're talking about that great mind, she's a little bit more racy than him, quite aggressive as far as the rider is concerned. But at Epsom, up that hill, the first climb is important to get a position, so she's going to have no problem with that. Dettori came over before the race itself and just said, excited about the filly. She's really good. That was beforehand. Then afterwards, talking about her being in the similar ballpark to Enable. That's a very, very big shout indeed. That's got to send shivers down the spine of the Ballydoyle team. They came over, didn't they, expecting to win the Lingfield trial. That didn't happen. Rogue Millennium, brilliant story. She's going to be supplemented for the 30,000. She goes in there. Just maybe on what we've seen recently, I know there's going to be a strong contingent coming over and you've got to get the rub of the green, but just maybe we'll be keeping it at home as far as the Epsom Classics are concerned and the Derby. Cash is the forgotten horse for David Simcock. If he goes, do not underestimate him. He was by far the biggest from a Burley point of view in the prelims at Sandown. Got himself upset in the gate, so he needs to get that ironed out. But he's a fascinating contender. Ridiculous price, completely overlooked.
There you go, and a couple of bigger prices, maybe Rogue Millennium and Cash, but yeah, the market certainly settled on Emily Upjohn and Desert Crown as the Epsom Classic favourites. Looking forward to them in a couple of weeks' time. Let's look at the Saturday's action, though, again. We've got Group 1 action to look forward to, the first open all-age Group 1 of the year in the Lockinge. And this time last year, Jason, we hadn't seen Baaeed run. We didn't even know what Baaeed was. Now we certainly do. And, of course, he's odds on to remain unbeaten in the Lockinge.
Yeah, from a punting point of view, I will watch it and enjoy it and hope that he wins because he brings in the sexy record, 6 from 6. And he should win. He's rated 125. Why would he not go and win? William Haggis talking about he doesn't even know where his ceiling is at the moment. That's an important factor. With my punting brain on, why on earth will Alcohol Free not hit the board? Chindit, I think, is a suspect stayer over the mile. New Mandate and Sabuska, there's a neck between them on their Ascot return. Real World, all right, you could argue he's coming out of the World Cup, so he's back in a more realistic level. Mother Earth down the bottom, we know that she's very, very good. But why can't Alcohol Free, double digits, hit the board? She ran a massive race, caught on the outside at Sandown for her return. Gassy, she looks so much better this year than she did last year. I think she's been massively underestimated. I think Baaeed will win. I'll be punting Alcohol Free each way.
Yeah, no fun in Alcohol Free, but hopefully she does hit the boards for you then. But yeah, looking forward to seeing Baaeed back in action in the Lockinge. Now, the race that precedes this is arguably the hottest 3-year-old handicap of the year, the London Gold Cup. Usually throws up a group performer. Defoe, Communique, Baybridge won it last year. I mean, there's not a lot of form to go on, but these are very progressive 3-year-olds. It's always a difficult handicap to try and solve, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll keep an ear as to what Ed Chamberlain fancies. This is his race of the year. He absolutely loves the London Gold Cup. Big improvers in there. Surrey missed, Bizarre Law, and even Mr. Big Stuff down the bottom put up a return to form last time, or just about his best when he ran at Nottingham. Israr by Muhara out of Tagruda managed to win, beat Savvy Victory in a maiden at Doncaster, ran well after that behind a horse who came out subsequently and bolted up in a pretty tidy little handicap. And his return to action, he looked big and burly in the prelims. He galloped, he was all over the place going down into the dip at Newmarket. The Queen's horse who won was in everything. We haven't seen him turn up in the Dante. Who knows? He may well be the Platinum Jubilee horse that they decide to run in the Derby. I think he's in some of the markets somewhere, although he's just got a mark of 90, taking a big step forward. Israr could be miles better than where he sits on a mark of 89 at the moment. You need one, don't you? You said about the long list of good horses. He could be a good horse.
Yeah, Israr then is certainly bred in the purple, isn't he? A fantastic pedigree for Israr, one of those Shadwell stud runners. Then for Jim Crowley and John and Thady Goz, what a week it's been for them. The 210 is the Aston Park Stakes, Group 3, over a mile and a half. And these similar races, they run time and time again, of course, usually throw up a bit of a shock. We've got a Group 1 winner here in Scope under a penalty. We've got Ilarabi, who was fourth to Max Vega in a similar contest last time as well. And the Shada, another beautifully bred Shadwell contender.
Yeah, and she managed to win the filly and mare, didn't she, towards the back end last October? So, you know, some rock solid form on show, and she's got a good record fresh. I'd like the Variant team to be in a bit hotter form, if I'm being honest. So her return to action remains to be seen if she's absolutely peaking. Scopes off the back of that Group 1 victory, the French Leisure that you mentioned, but they're coming in off breaks. Fox's Tales was second in a 3-runner contest, although the form could be good behind Mostadaf. I'm tempted, because we know that Outbox will go forward, to go with Without a Fight down the bottom. He kept on improving last year. He's had 2 runs over in Maidan. I quite like the angle in, coming in, fit off the plane, if you like, from Dubai. Decent second to Hookham. We know that form is rock solid, and he never was in the race. He was only beaten 5 lengths in a Group 1 behind a Japanese hot pot last time. And I hate that comment, never near to challenge. It was a bit of a nothing race, never got involved from the back of the pack. So I think Without a Fight, with fitness on his size, can cause a minor ripple. Won't be an upset because he's not a massive price, but he's fit.
Yeah, it's that type of race, isn't it? The Aston Park without a fight, I should say then, for Jason. And in the opener at Newbury, we are working backwards through the card, the Carnarvon Stakes. Over 6 furlongs, these 3-year-olds. A lot of eyes on Tiber Flow, I think, here. Turf debut, red hot team of William Haggis. May have bumped into one at Newcastle on over the finals day.
Yeah, how is that form going to match up? That's the key, isn't it? Had been going through the gears really nicely, looked to want every yard of the 6 at Newcastle, switching back onto the turf. Caravaggio, we know, is a superstar sprinter, but a couple of his stock have actually been getting a little bit further. That's the question mark. We've talked about anti-post bets and looking forward to some of the classics. I really do think that Cadamosto wants backing at the moment for the Commonwealth Cup. Massive return to action for him at Nace over 5.5. He was never any nearer than right on top of the line. He got beat by one of his stable mates. Ryan was on board, this lad. He comes over here. He did come over and run a cracker at the Royal Meeting last year, so we know he goes on the track. I think this is a perfect pointer, and he's a whopping price, 50, 60, something like that, for the Commonwealth Cup at the moment. He won't be if he goes and zips in here.
There we are. They're not only one for today, but one for Royal Ascot as well. Cadamosto for today and the Commonwealth Cup, of course, on the Friday of the Royal Meeting. That's Newbury then looked at. Jason, obviously join us on our social media channels. We'll look at Newmarket as well with you. But what would be ideally your best bet this weekend?
Oh, it's got to be Cadamosto. I look at him. If I honestly believe that he can step forward, they were looking forward. The ground has dried up a little bit. That's definitely going to suit him. He's a beautiful daisy cutter. I just keep looking back at the return to action from him. Not knocked about. Perfect little pointer. Bring him over. Make sure that he's taking all the travelling well and on to Ascot, where he's already proven very, very solid.
Fantastic stuff. So Cadamosto, best bet for this weekend. Aside off the Royal Ascot, have a couple of quid each way in him for the Commonwealth Cup. A couple for the Classics, cash at a big price, and Rogue Millennium as well for the Oaks at Epsom. So not just this weekend looked under the microscope, also a few anti-post bets to look forward to. Thanks as always to Jason. It's been a fantastic week at York. Fingers crossed we get a few winners in Berkshire this weekend as well. Whenever you're back in, the best of luck.